television scenes. From Jedi to Joes to mutant teens, they're alive when they lie, that's part of the charm. So grab your snacks and sound the alarm. If you're into toys or comic book feast, and drop on by for a little Geek Meet. Geek Meet, it's wild, it's weird, talking plastic heroes and collections we've cleared. Geek Meet, so random, so fun, join the stream, the show's just begun. Ryan and Jacob, you're in for a treat. Geek Meet, it's wild, it's weird, talking plastic heroes and collections we've cleared. Geek Meet, so random, so fun, join the stream, the show's just begun. Ryan and Jacob, you're in for a treat.
Well, good goddamn, another such phrases. Haven't done a stream like this in ages.
No, oh, a bit of rhyming. No, we haven't, have we? Hello,
can't take credit
Geek Meet.
Live.
Geek Meet. This is me and Ryan. Me and Ryan just jumping on stream and just talking geeky stuff. Yeah, you know the drill. If you're watching, and obviously comment along and whatnot. We'll do our best to throw comments up on the screen as we go. And we'll just talk. If there's anything you want to talk about, let us know. We'll throw it in the conversation. How you been, Ryan? Anyway, it's been weeks since we did it. We said it was going to be spontaneous and like whenever we felt like, and it's been weeks, months. Maybe.
Work has kept me completely away from YouTube in its entirety. Really. So I've done, as you'll see by my almost dead channel. I'm surprised that YouTube hasn't archived it yet, but I'm going on holiday. We'd be shocked to know, and I'm sure Shelley will give me a load of rubbish for that, because that used to be my thing on Geek.
No.
It's that.
Yep.
But yeah, so going on holiday on Monday for 2 weeks, and then when I get back, I've got a few things written and planned, and I'm going to film something while I'm out there, and yeah, hopefully do something. What about you?
Yeah, same, mate. Just been getting by, doing stuff. I've just noticed on one of the comments that popped up there, Beth said she's with her friend. Her name's Shelley. Like, is that Shelley, or is that a different Shelley? Because it's going to get very confusing if there's multiple Shelleys in the chat.
I can't hear the name Shelley without hearing Randy Marsh say it.
Shelley.
Shelley
said a holiday, huh? Well, hang on. She said Shelley. So Shelley and Beth are in the same room, but both watching. Is that right? Am I following this correctly? What a night we picked that Shelley and Beth are in the same place. That's pretty cool.
Questions were raised. Something about cat layers, but
yeah, it's just it's just been life. Really, life has been life in.
Mate, that was one stutter away from being like Jeff Goldblum. Then you were almost like, life finds a way. It's chaos, is what it is.
What have you been up to then? What have you? Let's dive straight in with a bit of pop stuff. Alien Earth. We've been watching that.
Yes, and so we go up just for a very brief moment before we started, and obviously, I've just been told you have not watched episode 6, which was on tonight. So
I haven't watched.
I'm trying to be so constructive and make sure I do not, because in my tiredness, I don't want to be like, blah blah blah, giant spoiler, blah blah blah. So, but the first 5 episodes have been
amazing,
awesome.
Right?
So good,
absolutely amazing. Like, it's like, I love the Alien franchise and the Alien Predator franchise. Like, I love that, the universe. I know that you're a massive fan, like the books and all sorts of stuff. But I just feel that this is a massive breath of fresh air, like to the universe of Alien. I actually went back and watched all of the films. Like, I've watched all of the films kind of in between episodes, just to kind of refresh myself and just kind of see the universe in its entirety, because I've seen them all, but I've never watched them all kind of in close succession. I watched them when they came out.
You watching them on Disney
I even
Plus?
enjoyed Alien vs Predator. Like,
Alien vs Predator is a great film. It's like, the thing is, right? Alien vs Predator is the video game film, is what I call it. Sorry.
Oh, that's a bit of shade thrown there. There's shade thrown there.
All right, giggity goo.
It's interesting though. It's interesting though, because look, Andy said I'm really struggling to get into it, and John said it's my favorite sci-fi series of 2025, and that seems to be the general consensus. Some people love it, and some people like really struggle with it. But
it's
I don't know. For me, yeah. So I'll tell you what I really liked about it, and it was from the get-go, and that's like it wasn't just about the xenomorphs. It wasn't just about those. Like it was all those other alien creatures that were in the. Like the eyeball is like messed up. Let's be honest. Like that eyeball alien is messed up, and the low like leechy kind of things as well. Like they're just all really cool, and it looks like there's more in there as well. Like it looks like there was potentially some other. Oh, spoiler! Oh. Okay, I haven't seen tonight's episode. Don't spoil it.
This is my spoil face.
And there's more aliens.
But
I don't know. I just feel that it's. I don't know. There's just for me personally, there's something really. I think organic is the best word to use. Like it just works. You know, like I feel like I care about the characters. I care about the storylines, and I kind of can see where it's going. And then there's a bit of a, you know, it's thrown one way or another, and everyone in it is just fantastic.
Yeah, the adults playing kids is some of the best acting of people pretending they're kids that I think I've seen. It's all the body language. It's so on point that it's you do sort of forget that it's actually adults playing kids, if that makes sense. I mean, I am very much sucked into the thing of like, oh yeah, it's kids' minds in synth bodies. But you know, normally if it's, you know, some kind of Freaky Friday type situation, like it's good acting, everything, but you can always tell it's like, oh yeah, you know, it's an adult pretending to be a kid. But this, they get the mannerisms of the children down so well. It's all the like the little shrugs and the little things and like the language and like the head movement. Because like my nephew does the most exaggerated head movements and eye rolls, and they are exactly like in the show. Like in the show, it's so good. So I've just seen that.
Yeah.
There'll be a plushy version of him in no time.
You know there will be with detachable goat, like you know. What I you can just pull it out of the goat's head.
Squeeze it and it
Interesting
flies out.
enough, though, going back and watching all the movies really made me appreciate how like high caliber this is. Like the movies are all great. Like I like every single one of them for their like even the what was it, Rebirth, or no, what was the
Alien
one where
3 Prometheus?
The one where she's in the prison, that's Rebirth, isn't it?
No, that's Alien 3.
Alien 3.
You're thinking of Resurrection, which is 4, which was the Joss Whedon super action fun one.
So even Alien 4, I was kind of like Resurrection. I was like, you know what? It's still cool. I didn't mind it at all. But when you go back and watch Alien Earth, you realize how like the storytelling feels a higher caliber. Like the storytelling's coming first, if that makes sense.
That's the big difference. It's not about the action set pieces. But can I ask, did you watch the films on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
So interestingly, right? So I've got the box set with the extended, like the director's cut of Aliens, Aliens, and what's known as the assembly cut for Alien 3, which is the one where she's on the prison planet. Which as if you ever want a good read up about the development of that film, because it was a nightmare and it's fascinating. But that's very different. I hadn't seen the theatrical cut for a long time, and then I watched it the other day on Disney Plus, not realizing, because I was like, that's not how that happens. That's missing. That didn't happen. And I realized that's the theatrical cut. And it's still quite entertaining, but I would say the assembly cut is so much better. It's one of those times where physical media, I think, sort of wins, is the fact that there are cuts of these movies that are just so much better, but are now only on physical media, like the assembly cut. The story flows better. A lot of things make a lot more sense. But you know, it still does have the massive gut punch of killing Hicks and Newt in the first scene. However, in the games, and this is canon apparently now. In one of the games, there was a DLC, and that's not Hicks in the pod. So on their way on the ship gets boarded, and it's like a pirate guy basically who they wake Hicks because there's been a xenomorph outbreak on the ship they're on when they're docking there to basically raid it. They awaken Hicks to try and find a way out of the ship, and during the commotion, when the facehuggers are attacking, the injured guy gets pushed into the pod and it goes back down, and then it ejects.
Oh.
So
okay,
Newt is dead, but Hicks actually isn't dead. So
I just found that's really cool. But when they killed Newt off, I just found that really it felt like that was going somewhere, and then for the next film to just start and then Newt's dead, and it's like, oh, okay.
Another good thing to read. So there was another proposed Alien 3 film where on the idea that when Sigourney Weaver wasn't sure if she was coming back, and it's more focused on Hicks and Bishop, and basically they get recovered, and Newt gets sent to her grandparents on Earth quite early on in the story, and Sigourney Weaver's basically in a coma thing still from the extended hypersleep that she's had for the 2 and the trauma. Like, she's not really coming around as much, so she's in it, but she's not really in it, if that makes sense. It really is more focused on Bishop and Hicks, and it's a really good read, but it's also a fantastic. So we're not sponsored by Audible. I know I go on about Audible quite a lot, but Audible has like the dramas
subscription
of
plan
the
for only
yeah. Use discount code RyanSpeaksGeek and get a 0% discount on your next purchase. They do like the Alien audiobooks are on there, and a lot of them they're probably going to find their way on YouTube, so give them a listen. They're so well acted and with the sound design and that, but they did the Alien 3 one, and it was awesome. Okay. Like, it's so good, and it's a really cool like alternate story for Alien 3. So I can highly recommend.
Amazing. I like the fact that this new one as well, Alien Earth, like, it's in timeline, so it's not like they're kind of going back and trying to, because I always have an issue when programs go back, especially when the CGI and the effects and all that kind of stuff, and even the film quality has improved so much, and then they go back and try to do like a throwback, because then it really cheapens the original one in that timeline, if that makes sense. Like, Alien 2 is one of my favorite films. Like, there's just, in general, it's just one of them films where it's like, exactly, aliens, space marines, like, what else did you need? And I think if they ever tried to go back and kind of do something in that timeline, it would not cheapen, that's the wrong word, but like, dilute probably is a better one. That Aliens film, and I don't want them to do that. So I'm really pleased that this is in the timeline.
Oh,
no way, mate, John.
Awesome.
We're just talking about the Alien books, and your friend
John. Can I just remind you that I am a voice actor, and that I would love to be in one of these books because it's one of my favorite franchises of all time. I'll do it for free. I'll just do one line in the whole thing. Just tell him that I'll just do one line. I can do good computer voices, just whatever.
Put it on your.
I'll even be Ensign Riggs, who gets like killed in a red shirt like 3 seconds into it. Star Trek style. I don't care. I'll do anything just to being one. So yeah.
What would your character's name be? What would your character's name be?
Nail Ratag.
Oh, that's okay. Synth or human?
My name backwards.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, it's
Synth or human.
See, look, there we go. John, tell him that sales will increase by at least 0.01% if he puts me in it. Nail Ratag is my name backwards, so that's more than bought my Last Man film. But the I've totally got a train of thought. Oh God, no. Yeah, one of the things I love about Alien Earth, though, is that you're saying about the continuity.
What would you be? What?
Oh, sorry, what would I be? That was it. I totally got distracted by that comment. I would be either a synth or
Human or
I would
synth?
like to be a synth.
I reckon you'd be a wicked synth. I reckon it'd be like you'd be one of these ones that's like really bright. You know, like what's his name in Romulus? The
David,
brother.
yeah.
Is it Andy?
Andy, sorry, yes. David's the one in Prometheus.
No. David's in Prometheus, yeah. Yeah, like, you know, like kind of a little bit unsure about himself, but then kind of boots up and becomes like mega synth.
Mind
like that's
doing like really straight faced and just doing like the like monotonic voice, you know, just being, you know, like also deadpan. And because I think I kind of look generic enough as like a human that I could get away with, like, you know, if I didn't have the glasses on, I just look generic enough, like man template. So it could just, you know, I'd just be walking around and be like, you know, I'm terribly sorry to inconvenience you, but you appear to have been infected by a xenomorph. I cannot release you. Apologies.
He's just done his audition.
Yeah.
John, just play that clip to your friend.
Headshot.
You know what? If there's a role in there for like a space marine or something as well, like sign me up. Like I'd like to go for like what's the name of the one in Aliens that's kind of like really like game
Hudson.
over, man. Hudson. That's
yeah.
it. I'd be a Hudson.
You know what? Actually, here's the pitch. 2 bumbling guards who are distracted by having an argument about something really nerdy and get killed by a xenomorph. Right here.
Yes. Like, game over, Ryan. Game over.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
just sitting there going like, man, if I, you know, all these guys get killed by aliens, like I would see it like a mile away. I'm telling you, I could smell it before it even got near me. You know, you know, just like that kind of thing.
Can I just say as well, like having gone back and rewatched it as well, and obviously watching the new one, like face huggers are more horrible than I kind of remember. Like the concept of the face hugger, like I always thought, like as a kid, I was kind of, oh, that's cool, like it's laying an egg or whatever in his belly, and you know, didn't really understand it as a kid. But watching it as an adult, I'm like, that is horrendous. Like that's horrible. Like horrible. Yeah. So yeah, I tell you what, having watched it though, having watched them all and whatnot, there is one thing that does annoy me: the continuity across the films to do with the face huggers, and that is yeah, Ryan does need his own voice, dull voice.
Ruddy Ryan.
Yeah, the continuity of the face huggers and chest busters. Like, so in some films, the face huggers are on for ages, and then they carry on for a little while, and then it busts out. And then in some films, like Romulus, for example, it like jumps on her face, and then like within the next scene, it's then busting out of her chest. And there's a lot of continuity issues of how long they're kind of.
Well, Jacob, if I may refer to my Xenopedia, which is a xenomorph encyclopedia,
Of course, you've got a Xenopedia.
My brain.
There you go.
So the gestation period varies from time to time. This can be to do with the species, the host, or the originating of the egg, or the ovomorph, more commonly known as. So this could be a thing where the xenomorph is interesting because as a species, it is constantly adapting and changing. No two are the same. It constantly varies. So that's what, I mean, Kenner had a great field day with that, with their action figure line and making one that looked like a scorpion and a
rhino and a panther and
gorilla. It was awesome. So a lot of those things vary on that. There's also studies in some of the books and things to do with things like temperature, like how much, like, you know, like genetics as well, like what's, you know, the host is like, if they are genetic perfection, for example, and things. So it constantly changes throughout. I mean, one could just say it just depends on the pace of the film, but they have got an in-universe reason why there would be variations in things like timing or even designs and looks. Everything has its sort of slight like modifications. I guess it's a bit like how a human has evolved over like all these years, but consolidated in such a smaller time, because for a xenomorph, the genetics change every time there's a new generation, effectively. So concludes the lecture. This is available on Audible.
It's Alien 3 where the dog gets done, isn't it?
In the theatrical cut, it's the dog. In the assembly cut, it's an ox.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I mean. One fun thing about Alien 3, so they tried to use practical effects and put a xenomorph costume on a whippet like a dog.
Right.
But apparently it just looked absolutely ridiculous, and it kept pulling off all the parts of it. It's just like for some of the running shots, they wanted to use a whippet to, all dressed up, and apparently it just did not work at all. I think there might be some footage somewhere. I've got to look it up because I'd love to see that.
That'd be horrendous. That would be horrendous.
Dogomorph.
Dogmorph. Yeah. I remember I had I think it was the panther or the puma or something. The gold alien. I can't remember what. I'm sure I'm going to say panther unless someone wants to correct me. But I remember it had that kind of like cat-like kind of pose, and the coloration of like a tiger or a cat or whatever. Like, I had those oranges and browns, and it was my favorite toy as a kid. It made its way into every game, like that panther alien or whatever it was, found its way in every game because it was just my favorite. And obviously they redid them recently as well, didn't they? A lot of the Kenner ones. Yeah, I think you froze for a second there, Ryan. You were like,
yeah, the prey mantis one, the see-through green one with the giant sort of like mandibles.
Yeah,
like
the claw things.
That was the one always sticks in my head as like the really white one that I was like, whoa. And they also had the Predator line as well. And speaking of Predator, so we've got obviously Alien Earth is the new series. We've got a new Predator film coming out, and we had the animated Predator film, which was
brilliant. The Killer of Killers.
Yeah,
that
which
was fantastic.
I suspect, and I'm almost certain is. So originally there was a plan for a third Predator film, which would have had Arnold Schwarzenegger's character and Denzel Washington's character taken to the Predator homeworld to fight in a tournament.
So we're kind of playing on that idea.
Yep.
That is cool. Jenko just said, I'd love to see how Facehugger worked on an actual praying mantis. Pretty good point.
That was always my thought. And the scorpion.
Yeah. With that said, though, the thing I really like about the Predator films and what I really liked about Alien versus Predator is the kind of like the history and the like with Alien versus Predator, the first one, it was all about the maze and the rituals and all that kind of stuff. And they obviously lent into the idea that Predators taught us how to build pyramids and all that kind of stuff, which was really cool. And that's what I personally really liked about it. But then I really liked the film Predators because it was them on the Predator homeworld and all this kind of stuff. Like, I just love that concept of this species just out there, just hunting. Like, that's basically all they do. You never see them do anything else. They just fly around, hunt things. So
yeah, I think that's interesting because it ties into that Discovery Channel's obsession that anything ever made that was slightly more than 2 bricks high was like, yes, aliens, man.
Watch Alien versus Predator. There's your explanation. There is your explanation.
Exactly.
You got a bit of lag.
Yeah, I've just tried to switch over onto my phone hotspot. I don't know what's going on tonight, but for some reason something's not working properly.
A bit laggy. That's all right. There we go. Andy Roberts said Killer of Killers. That was class. Yeah, that was really good. And I like the fact that they tied it into Prey as well. That that she was in there and stuff like that. I just thought it was really clever. Switching slides slightly. Still on the sort of space theme. Star Wars HasLab.
Yes, if funded.
Yeah, it did. You got a little bit more lag.
Sorry, is that how much of a lag it was? I wasn't sure if you were doing that for dramatic purposes.
No. Yeah.
Let me try and switch my Wi-Fi over.
We'll get through it. But yes, it funded in the last hours as well.
I literally watched it.
Please enjoy this short intermission.
Yeah, I literally watched it tick over.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I was.
Jake, randomly sing for like 3 seconds. I'm going to quickly disconnect and reconnect it. 100%.
Ryan's just going to go. I'm not going to sing. I'm just going to put it out there. While Ryan is off air, though, obviously I've been playing around my 3D printer this week as well because of Alien versus Predator. The two of the things that I 3D printed. I know Ryan's going to want to see these when he comes back, but I've finally got myself a 1/6 scale Xenomorph because I haven't got the Hot Toys version. So I've got that one that goes on the shelf. Still needs to be painted. And then the very cool kind of piece de resistance, if you like, is a Hot Toys scale Predator, which is very cool. Very cool indeed. And this is the Elder Predator because he also comes with his little revolver that goes in there. And he's got his blade as well that kind of goes in this arm over here. Can't take credit for the design of it. It was designed by someone else, and I just printed it. And I'm gonna paint that up. But that kind of brings a conclusion to the Alien versus Predator chat. Thanks, Andy. Yeah, no, they do look cool. Just because the thing is, I'm like a 1/6 collector, and like to get a Predator, for example, they're quite expensive at the moment. So I was like, I kind of want a Predator. I like customizing. I like painting. So I was like, you know what? I'll print one off, and I'll see if I can. But it fits in my collection nicely. And I've printed him up a little bit, so he's taller than the figures as well. So he's kind of in scale. Yes, let's talk about the HasLab. Now we got you back. Joby one said, "I'm glad it funded. Looks nice. I think it jumped from 6,000 to 9,000 backers in a day." Yeah, it was kind of at the 6,500. What did they need to fund? It was
8,000.
8, yeah. So it sat at like 6.5, like right up until like almost the last kind of bit, didn't it?
I watched it tick over, and it still had about 4 hours to go, I think, when it ticked over.
Oh, really?
And that was, and I couldn't sleep, and it was like 1 a.m. I didn't back it, by the way, because I'm a vintage on retro style. Oh no, I forgot to turn my cantina on.
Oh no.
There we go.
There you go. It's a very large piece, isn't it?
It is. The thing is, the price was also very large. Remember when I said about the Ghost Rider car, and I was struggling to see the value? I have to admit, as much as I really am impressed by the design and I love it, and I think it's really clever and it's really cool, I did struggle with the price on this one.
Was it 450?
Yeah.
That's a big chunk of money.
It is. And I know there's tooling and things like that, but it didn't have any electronics in it. It didn't have any real sort of action features other than some slightly rotating guns at one point. But, you know, it was just, it was a lot of money. And also, you only got 2 pilots with it. I would expect for that price to have like a full like brigade with it almost.
It didn't hit any of the reward tiers, did it?
It was just shy of the first one. But for clarity though, for 9,000 backers, that's 4 million, and yeah, that's just over $4 million or pounds.
That's a lot. That is a lot of cheese.
That is. So, and yeah, when you did the cantina, like you've done an entire play set. You know.
Yeah.
I just, yeah.
Jenko said there, I got the cantina, which is still waiting for. Obviously, it's not out yet. But it does have so much more for the money. I think what was good for the cantina as well, again, I didn't get it, but it was one of them ones that I could appreciate from afar. The good thing about the cantina was that it had, like, there was tier levels that you could buy into, wouldn't you? So you could buy it as a flat piece to go on the shelf, or you could buy the other half to make it a
deluxe,
a full unit. I think without, this isn't slating Hasbro as such, but I think there is definitely a trend now of things costing a lot more but coming with a lot less. Did you see the Wolverine mask, for example?
Yes.
So that retails in the UK at £105. It's £105 for the cow, and it's great. It looks very movie accurate. But if you go back to 2017, I think it was, when the Star-Lord helmet first came out,
Bluetooth,
that came out at £100, retailed at £100, and it had a full Bluetooth speaker in it, so you could link your phone up to it, and it had lights. So it was kind of like you had lights and the speaker and everything for £5 less than what just.
And they re-released it for the same price pretty much, but without the Bluetooth in a few years back.
Yeah, I got the re-release without the Bluetooth, but not for the retail price. I got it on the second-hand market for a lot less. But yeah, it's just, I don't know.
It's turning into a bad business model that people are just actively waiting because they know things will go to clearance, like will go to discount. So like the E-Wing, for example, a Star Wars vintage collection vehicle, really cool vehicle from the Ahsoka line. It's one of my rare things that I've bought because it's a vehicle from the vintage era that the Canon then made, and I kind of like, oh, that would be good fun. And I only got it because when it came out retail, it was like over £100 for like an X-wing sized ship, and it comes with a droid that fits in, a cool droid as well, but no pilot, just the droid and the ship. Now that sort of sold out places, but it seemed limited. But all of a sudden, I don't know whether it's all happened, but In-Demand Toys, Star Action figures, and a few other places have suddenly got this influx of stock of them for £50 at half the price. So I'm like, I'm glad I didn't get it because I couldn't justify it when it was that. But having just sold a bunch of stuff to Nerd Base, I was like, yeah, I'm having for £50. I'll take that.
Yeah,
It's the big difference. Like, you know, you've priced out your own collectors.
Yeah, I do agree. But yeah, the HasLab model seems to, like, when it first kind of came out, obviously you had the Sail Barge, you had Cookie Monster, and then you had like the Sentinel, and it was quite a rare thing. It was like, wow, this is cool. Like and it was essentially crowdfunding. It was like, look, you pay your section. I never looked at it as in, oh, if they hit their backers, it's £5 million or $5 million or whatever. I always looked at it as in, okay, for £300 or whatever, you can get this massive Sentinel that scales with your Marvel Legends. And then another one came out the following year, and then another one the following year, and another one. And Marvel have obviously dropped off now. The Legends team aren't doing HasLabs because obviously the Ghost Rider failed massively. Giant Man did all right, but they're just not doing it. So it's a model that they've kind of come away from. But the other lines, especially Star Wars and G.I. Joe, are very much pumping them out all the time. And surely, even with this, it shows that the people that would get this scale of vehicle and stuff are running out of place, like space or money, like one of the two, because the backers are definitely dropping down. Like John said there, look, 224 backers short of unlocking that first tier. So, you know, I know you can't look at it as, okay, for this much money you get.
Sorry, that Jedi, I have to jump in. That Jedi, right?
Yeah.
The reason I was laughing is because I have got it in my head for some reason. I've nicknamed this Jedi Mint Mustard.
Okay.
Because it's Coleman mustard and Trebor mints.
Yeah.
So the problem is every time I see it, it makes me smile because I forgot that was only in my head that I thought of that. And I was talking to Dave at one point, like Dave of the Dead, who I do the other show with, and I was talking, and I was like, you know, when Master, you know, Mustard Mint gets shot and he falls off the balcony, and Dave's just looking at me like, "How are you talking about?" And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Mustard Mint." I was like, "Oh, Coleman Trebor."
You're right, though. You are right. It's almost like they were naming Jedis and just looking around their kitchen. It's like Family Guy, isn't it? Peter.
Tier Griffin. Oh, but Master Wok spatula. Thank you. Thank God you're here.
Yeah, look, Joe once said Mustard Mint never actually saw the lat on screen, right? So I guess it's more accurate now.
That is true. That is very true.
That's quite.
Oh, Jiffy, well, you're
getting back to the kind of things to do with the tiers and stuff. What upsets me is that I think back to, and I always run things against the Sentinel, because the Sentinel came out, it blew up, people backed it, it funded within like 24 hours, and then every couple of days, because the amount of backers that were coming on, the Hasbro team were going, right, because there's this many people, we're also going to throw in this, and then we're going to throw in this, and the things kind of got added because of the volume of people joining. And now it's very much like, here's all the stuff, and you've got to really pay your way to get it. And it's a shame because, you know, for some people, those figures that supposedly will never be have now just been that kind of carrot dangling that they'll never get.
And they've obviously already spent money on the tooling as well, because they have the prototypes. So the other interesting thing as well, it's like, so the Sail Barge was the very first HasLab. and it annoyed me
Yeah.
because we barely got an opportunity in the UK to get it because it was very much a
To get
US
hold
thing.
of it. Yeah.
And it was like they put 300 on eBay and it sold within 30 seconds or something like that. So I didn't even get a chance to do it. And it's been mine and Dave's biggest bone of contention because I would, that's the only one I would have been like 100% back that. And you know, I still think that if they brought that back, because they've got all the tooling for it. They've spent all that money on the tooling for it, and now it's just going to never be touched again. Like if they did no tiers or anything, just a made to order type one, so that it is basically like, if however many people order it, will make this many. You see what I mean?
Super Sorrel in the chat. How we doing, Sorrel? Good to see you.
Hello there.
You could have come in with a better one, and you could have done the hello there. That would have worked with the Star Wars chat we're having at the moment. I don't know. I think it's a shame. I think it's a real shame that they have the tooling for these things and they're not going to put them out. But people talk about the backlash and the kind of backlash of kind of re-releasing it and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure the money they would make would kind of quickly hush up that backlash. Like, yeah, let's make a few $1 million in like a week. But
yeah, exactly. Especially because they're not supposedly doing so well at the moment. And the other thing is, so I watched there was a YouTuber who's called Spectre Creative, I think his name is, and he used to work for Mattel, I want to say. I think he used to work on the Master of the Universe line. He did a whole thing about tooling and stuff like that. And I think he said that basically the tooling for that lap would have been about $1 million. So if the tooling would cost $1 million to do that, that means they've still made 3 million. Maybe even if you took out another $1 million for production or advertising or something like that, and all the other sort of givens, right? That's still a £2 million profit, and that's what I rounded that down. It was almost 10,000. I rounded it down to 9,000. It's a lot of money. I just don't know if this is a model I kind of want to see going forward all the time. And the other thing is, like you made a really good point, space. So Dave has an entire big room for Star Wars, but for these big ticket items, I mean, his other half, Amy's just made this amazing display cabinet for his cantina. But you've got the Ghost, and before even HasLab, you had the big Millennium Falcon. Then you had the sail barge. Then you've got the Razor Crest. You've got the Imperial Shuttle that came out in the yonder year. The Geonosian Arena, which came out in 2002. You've got AT-ATs galore. There's 5 or 6 different AT-ATs. So, there's only so much space. And also, if it's yearly and it's going to be 450 quid, that means somehow you have to find 450 or, let's say for argument's sake, 500 max a year to do a HasLab every year if they carry on at this rate.
Yeah. But see, that's where I think that subscription services like FanHome are really good, because they will, okay. So the reason I mention it is because I completed the Optimus Prime that you can
saw it. So cool.
Look how much space he takes up on one of my shelves. And he's incredible. But now what they've done is they re-released that as a buy at once, like buy all in one thing. So they did it with the Megazord for Power Rangers, where you could basically buy the whole subscription. The Optimus Prime is 115 issues, I think, and they're doing it in 3 bundles of 420, I think, 420 quid, which is a lot of money. But at the end of it, you've got this one epic thing. But you then know that FanHome aren't going to come out the next year and give you a Bumblebee or another. I'm drawing a blank here, but another
Ironhide, Megatron, Soundwave, Starscream,
or it's not going. They're not going to throw out all these
Galvatron,
different,
perhaps.
Yeah, Shockwave, but they're not going to throw out all these different Transformers. So that if you're collecting that, if that's your thing, that's kind of in itself and complete. And I can kind of see collectors investing that money, but I don't know.
Well, I still think, right, because people will say, when people talk about the HasLabs, they go everyone always goes Death Star. Death Star wouldn't work as a HasLab, because even if you scaled it down, it would be way too big, far too big, right? So I mean, look at that Lego set they've just put out for $1,000, and
even that's cut in half.
So even if you did, but if you're going to be Hasbro, make something along those lines, right? They keep doing like these playsets. So you can see up here, I've actually got the hallway, the Moff Gideon Star of the Cruiser hallway, and I'm using that for my Imperial figures, for Empire. But that hallway can go on and on and on and on, connect. You can buy multiples later, which is a great idea. So why not apply that concept to like a subscription thing? If you because I said years ago about like they used to do back in the Power of the Force 2 days, they did these completely white boxes, mail away boxes for troop builders, and you get like 4 Endor soldiers, 4 whatever. And then they did start doing that. They have started doing that now, but then they started putting in unique characters in with the 3 packs, and it was like that doesn't make sense, But the interesting thing is, like, if they took that approach almost like with the diorama parts. So if you had like a Death Star hallway and just put a stormtrooper in it, and you could just make an endless corridor effectively, that could work better. Or even if you had like a subscription service where you could build the Death Star on like a 2-level thing, so that the floor could then clip on top, and and you can stop it whenever you want, but you'd only have X amount. And 1 month it might have like the computer panels and like a gun rack, and then the next week it's a bit of floor, and then you can build up a playset over time. And if you wanted to build it, you can do 2 subscriptions or whatever.
Or follow the Diamond Select Toys, like rest in peace. But you follow the Diamond Select Toys kind of recipe with like the Ghostbusters rooftop. Like, you got a figure and you got a part of the diorama. You got, the front of the firehouse. It was a figure and a part of the diorama. And they've done that with a few different things, like the X-Men. You had the Danger Room and stuff like that. Black Series or Vintage Collection or whatever could very easily do that, where you kind of get a bit of a diorama, but you do it so that they all connect. It's not like you have to get every single one. You get it so that they all connect some way. So you could then literally kind of go, you know what, I want to pick up 5 of those stormtroopers, because then I've got like a little battalion, and all of the bits that come with them connect, and you've got a hallway, or you then pick up a Vader and it comes with like a particular
Only if they did the stormtrooper in the Vintage Collection with the in the undies in the bath. They should do that for Hasbro.
It will happen. It will happen.
Oh, that might happen, John. Might happen.
But then look, Joe, also said about the made to order Rancor. Like obviously the Rancor was another that it died a death, didn't it? Like it just didn't fund them people. But I don't know.
Tears as well, though. It was like we've thrown in some plastic bones and a bit of
a cardboard backdrop. But no, I honestly think diorama pieces with figures would be the way to go. And you could scale it up and scale it down.
So I'll tell you what's killed that: the Vintage Collection design. People became really obsessed with the Vintage Collection, which is like having that particular type of bubble with the silver thing around the top and the photo on the front. That has absolutely killed any chance of things like builder figures, dioramas, anything like that. And it's infuriating. And I know people like it, but it made sense for like the original 96, for example, like if they were remaking the original Kenner figures. But the problem is that gimmick has ruined everything effectively, in my opinion, because you now can't get built. They don't do Builder Droid. Their Builder Droid was a great concept they did. You bought figures you didn't care about because you needed that Astromech dome or whatever, Then you had like holograms that were included, that were really cool. Weapons lockers with loads of extra weapons, all these different ideas, and they've all gone out the window because none of it will fit in a TVC packaging thing, which is stupid because even the backs of the cards are nothing like the vintage cards. So I don't get why they get so obsessed with them.
But, I just don't understand why. You mentioned Build-A-Figure as well. Like Build-A-Figure was a massively popular thing for the Marvel Legends line, and I don't know why they haven't rolled that out across all of the other. I know they Mattel tried it with Ghostbusters for a little while, didn't they? But I don't know why Hasbro haven't done that with Star Wars, haven't done that with G.I. Joe, and just kind of giving you the opportunity to collect up and build something extra, because the Build-A-Figures are always something that people go mad for.
Yeah, well, because there's big characters like the Bendu, for example, is a big character in Star Wars Rebels, and he's a big thing. Build a figure where you could build a Bendu effectively would be amazing.
But it hasn't always got to be a big figure. Like, you look at Marvel Legends, they did like Cosmo, like the dog. Like there was, what was one of the other ridiculous ones that was really
that's
small?
the build a droid line that we had in Star Wars, and that's how we got a lot of the obscure astromechs and other droids. It's how the first Phase 3 Dark Trooper was built, was on a build a droid type thing from Target exclusive, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think that it's a shame. It just feels that there's a real kind of change in the wind.
I kind of feel like this is going to be really controversial, and again, not a slight on Hasbro, because I actually, controversially, I quite like Hasbro. I do. I genuinely like. I like the retro collection. I like a lot of the ideas they do, and I like that they do some of the vehicles stuff.
Full disclaimer: they put out some good products, just not all their products are for me.
Yeah. Basically, that's a long and short of it. And
I can't wait for my Ecto-1. I love my Ghostbusters.
I know, but Disney's doing obviously a lot of the droids nowadays, and they do these big droid 4-packs. And I just got this really awesome vehicle, and I don't know if I've got it to hand. I don't think I do. Oh, that's annoying. It's a pod that when you hit it, it explodes open, and it's got the Pro Droid in it from Empire Strikes Back.
Nice.
And it cost 25 quid. It was in the box, but it's a really cool thing. Like, it's awesome. It's got really cool features in it. They do the 4-packs from the films of obscure droids. Then they've done, but this is the crazy thing, right? And the droid 4-packs are basically 40 quid. So they're a tenner a figure rather than like 18 a figure, which the vintage collection is. And then you've got the crazy thing is the Star Tours vehicle. Big one. It holds something like 60 figures. It's got a full working video system which does the ride. All lights, bits pop out. There's cannons firing. 200 quid, and it's as big as a HasLab.
Wow. The thing that gets me as well is that you think back in the day, like He-Man's the perfect line to think about now. Like, think about how many play sets there were for He-Man and how many kind of vehicles and that kind of stuff. Like they came out as part of the figure line, and the figures of like the 80s and the 90s, that very much was it. And I think Playmates right now, with their Power Ranger line, like, love it or hate it, the Reignition line, obviously they're aimed at kids. There is a kids line, but they're really cool. They are very cool, and I know that I do work for them, but this isn't me just saying that they're cool because
I really like the line. I think it's one of the most well thought out launches I've seen for ages. You've got the whole team and a villain.
Yeah, you got the 3 villains. You've got the whole team, including the Green Ranger. You got Rita, Goldar, and a Putty. And the at $10.99, you can buy multiple putties. Like, you could buy 2 or 3 of those and have that. But what really sells it for me is the Megazords and the Zords. Like, the fact that for 20 quid you can pick up the Zord that goes with that Power Ranger. So essentially, for £30, if you've got a kid that's a Power Ranger fan, for 30 quid you can go in, you can get them the Power Ranger figure and their Zord for 30 quid. Like, it's a no-brainer, and they're not poorly made. They're just made for kids. And I think you look at the Zords, they all then connect together, and you've got a massive Megazord. That's how they should be doing it. And these more adult lines, like, I think they're almost forgetting that the adult collectors were children. They were kids originally, and that's how we got into toys. That's how we became fascinated with action figures and stuff. And to give us kind of vehicles or something in the same way that Playmates are doing, I think they would clear up, especially if something like Star Wars. You imagine all the pod racers you could get for like 20 quid a piece, 30 quid a piece.
That's my dream, because pod racing is one of my favorite things in Star Wars.
You can't tell me it's down to tooling. You can't tell me the price of tooling is what stops that happening, because
I can tell you where you are absolutely spot on with that, though, because Hasbro are doing that, but just not with 3 3/4 inches, 4-inch, and it's the Epic World of Action line. And I've got a few of those, and they're great. Some of the ones in armor and stuff scale really well with and they've got a retro enough look that they fit in with my retro collection. But the vehicles, so I got the N1 Starfighter, that was 20 quid. It came with Grogu and Mando as well. Came with the figures. Fires a missile. I love it. And then they've also done an X-wing, and that's like $29.99. And it opens up, and it's got really cool things on it. They've done these mech suit things, like, but like you said, that there's not a lot to them, but they're really playable. They're fun. The obsession with scaling and like perfection, I think, is sort of we've lost the toyeticness of a lot of Star Wars, unfortunately. And I think that's why I like the vintage and the retro stuff so well. Even like the stuff in the 90s, like the He-Man Star Wars stuff, But I grew up obviously in the 90s when we had that. The Power of the Force 2 was the new stuff in the stores when I was a kid. We used to call them news and originals. Originals was the Kenner stuff, like the old Kenner stuff, and news was that one. But you are absolutely spot on though, because I mean, the thing is, like Masters of the Universe Origins, for example, I think is one of the best lines, hands down, because it still looks and plays like a toy. Even the new stuff that's completely new that they've created, like the Snake Men stuff, one of them's got like interchangeable legs, so it can have like a giant serpent's tail, or it can have legs, but they've all got play features. And then the new play set that's just crowdfunded, and that funded. I mean, that only missed the last tier. And again, they saw that everyone wanted something, so they changed they took it offline for a day, took the feedback on board, and changed the tier system so something came included with it regardless.
Yeah. I look at 3D printing, for example. Like, I've been sent a Castle Grayskull 3D print file, and it's got a working trapdoor. Like, it's not a replica of the old Castle Grayskull playset. It's a Castle Grayskull that the trapdoor goes up and down. But to print it, yes, it would take time, but I could print it in any scale, and it's only going to cost the kind of price of a couple of filaments. So like you're looking at like 15 to 30 quid, depending on how much you get through. But
£400 electricity, but
yeah, loads of electricity. No, but it actually doesn't though. That's the funny thing, is it doesn't use a huge amount of electricity in comparison. But so people are doing it at home, and this kind of brings me back to the point I was making about the Wolverine cow. There are so many files out there, free files on these CAD websites and all that kind of stuff, where people have sculpted the files for the Wolverine cow. It's not a complex paint job either. You know what I mean? Like, you spray it yellow and then you paint it black, or spray it black and paint it yellow. And for a fraction of the price, you've then got that cow. But then the official releases aren't doing anything different to make it stand out, to make it more kind of desirable. You're kind of aiming for that. What?
Should have come with claws.
Well, yeah, I mean, even 3D print them, actually 3D print retractable claws, which is
really that's cool. What I mean. But like, if Hasbro are going to do that for 100 and whatever quid, I would want like the gloves. Chuck in. If it was gloves and a helmet for 100 quid, you'd kind of go like, meh. Isn't the Daredevil one got a weapon with it?
He's got his billy club.
Yeah.
Right.
So that makes sense. Like, to me, that's a good package.
Yeah. You know what? That's not the first time someone said that to me either. So that's a good package.
Oh, thank you.
A good package. But no, but it's a good setup. Now, you have that on the shelf, and you've got your Daredevil Born Again kind of cow, and then you've got the billy club in front of it, and that will look like a nice display piece. The one thing that really unsold it for me was the promo shots. They use somebody with a really small head, because the cow looks massive. If you actually look at the promo shot, they've got like a profile of somebody, and it looks huge, and you're like, that's not on Daredevil. It's pretty snug.
You need someone like with me, like with a giant head.
Yeah, like Dwight, for example, when they revealed the X-Men, the Wolverine one, did you catch the San Diego Comic-Con?
No, I didn't.
And he's obviously got a big beard, and he shaved the inside of this bit of his beard on stage, and then put the cow on, and it fit him really snug, and he looked like Wolverine. And I was like, that's the best marketing I've ever seen. Like, you literally just put it on.
all right.
Yeah, made him look like Wolverine. So, but yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing. I just think that there's so much that I mean,
Jenko
put me off. Oh, the image of the person with the big head.
Yeah, not you with the package.
I was going to say, which what's for sale here? What?
Look, just because he dances loco, it don't make him a hono, okay?
Jenko, it's not the first time someone's told me that either. But yes, no,
I'm talking about his ego, by the way, not his package.
It looks oversized. Well, that's good, my friend, is because it is.
No, matron. Indeed.
But Jenko, I'm the same. I'm exactly the same. I'm exactly the same. That image was the one thing that put me off. I saw it and I was like, this is really cool. Like, oh, it's the Billy Clubs. It will look really cool on the thing. And then I saw that promo shot and I was like, it looks really big. And I'm not saying that it is really big or the person is particularly small, but it just looked out of sync.
The Hasbro Ranger helmets, right? So I recently sold most of them except for the White Ranger and the Lord Draken one. I kept them. But the funny thing is my beard stuck out the bottom of the helmet. So it'd be like a Power Ranger with the mouth bit here and then just be this beard. Before I shaved it, like obviously I took my beard right back, but I had a really big beard and I just had this like fur line around the helmet. And the Pink Ranger one didn't even nowhere even near closing. It was tiny. Yeah, it was tiny, which is right because of like scale wise and everything. But it was quite funny. But yeah, I mean that also would have put a lot of people off.
Yeah. She said only when he's dressed as a goblin. Funny enough, little fun fact for you. I've got one of my tattoos is Labyrinth inspired, and I was actually in there today getting a little bit done. So I've got like a Jareth owl up here now. But it's
that's
all
funny because I actually thought that you reminded me of someone. You
yeah.
You remind me of the babe.
What babe?
The babe with the power.
What power?
The power that you do, who do. Dance, magic dance, David Bowie.
Sorrel said you should get Steve to come on and demo his gunship. Everything just sounds like a euphemism in this stream tonight. Yeah, I mean, that'd be cool. I mean, Steve, credit where credit's due. Steve does an awesome marketing campaign on the run up to these things. Like, did you see all of his like, like, character cards and stuff? Like, they were really cool. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just interested to know. Like, let's put it out now, right? Star Wars will have another HasLab. It will probably be announced when we're thinking.
It'll be around the same time next year.
Yeah, okay. So let's put some predictions out now. What do you think the next Star Wars HasLab will be?
Oh, I think Return of the Jedi's got an anniversary coming up. So maybe an Ewok village or a shuttle Tidarium, like the Imperial shuttle.
Okay.
Because the Imperial shuttle's quite a hard one to get, and I think that could probably do with an update. Yeah, I think.
See, I think they're going to go playset. I think that the pattern will go playset, ship, playset, ship. So obviously done the Cantina.
Sean Connery joined us for a second there.
They done
you're playing with my playset, I see. Fantastic.
I'm thinking that it will be something to do with. Oh, there we go. Joby One said 50th anniversary. I reckon it will be something to do with the throne room, or it'll be something to do with that. It will be some kind of
Star 2.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Okay. Well, if I was going for playset, I would put my money on an Ewok village.
See, I'd love to see Ewok village, but I even asked him a few years back. I think you were at MCM with me when we asked.
Yeah, I was with you. We asked Patrick.
We kind of pitched the idea to Patrick, but still not the same. Speaking of MCM, Shelley's going MCM. Well, Shelley, me and Ryan will actually be there together on the Friday. So if you're going on the Friday, we will be there together. I might be there for the rest of the weekend. I don't know, because the Saturday is actually my birthday. So I'm definitely going on the Friday, potentially going on the Sunday, and I might also go on the Saturday. I don't know. But me and Ryan will definitely be there on the Friday together.
We're going to pitch the Ryan special action figure you mentioned earlier with 15 different voices.
Yeah.
Sell them.
Said, damn, I'm going on Saturday. I might be there on Saturday. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, then change your ticket, Shelley.
Yeah, I don't know what my schedule is. Speaking of MCM, though, did you see that they got McLovin? McLovin's going to be there. Don't know what his autograph price is like. I don't know. I've looked at it. I don't know what his photo and autograph is. But they've got some really. I got Cole Urban's going to be there. Like, there's some really good people.
I'm really excited for Carl Urban to see. I hope he's not in one of those rooms where you can't see him, because my dad calls him dial-in actor. Because me and my dad play this game now where it's like we just send each other pictures whenever Carl Urban's in a film that we didn't expect, because the amount of things he's just in. And then we joked about it for ages, and we grew up watching Pete's Dragon, which is like one of my favorite classic Disney films, with the cartoon dragon in the real.
He's not in that.
No, he's in the remake.
Oh yes, he is. Yes.
I just I was watching it. I didn't watch any trailers, but I was watching it, and suddenly he came on screen, and I was like, "Oh no!" It's like he just appears in everything. But I watched one weekend. I think I watched like 3 films with Carl Urban in it. And it was like Pete's Dragon, Chronicles of Riddick, and something like Star Trek or something like that. I was thinking like, dude's got range, and like Judge Dredd, he's like the best chin actor I've ever seen.
Oh. Yeah. What's really frustrating though is he's like photo op is like 90 quid or something stupid like that. It's like it's just too much. Do you know what I mean? Like, but he's one of them ones where I'm like, I'd really like to meet him and kind of get a photo, but 90 quid is a lot for a photograph. Like,
I can't justify that.
Shelley as well, like Joseph Quinn. Like, the sad thing is, Joseph Quinn seems like a decent guy as well, but his prices have obviously shot up since Stranger Things and Fantastic Four and everything like that. So, yeah, there's a limit. There is a limit on how much it costs. So I won't cross.
No, it's a no from me, Jen. I'll stick with my Empire Strikes Back musical soundtrack vinyl record, which is signed by Yak Face, the voice of General Grievous and Plo Koon, because I think that might be one of the most unique Star Wars pieces of memorabilia.
It sounds like Step Brothers. Like, if you see Yak Face, you're not going to not get his autograph.
Well, exactly. I was at Star Wars Celebration. I know a few years back, the one in London, not the one just gone, the one way before then. And my mum was like, "Oh, you should take something to get signed." And I was like, "Oh," and I just saw the Empire Strikes Back soundtrack, like the vinyl one on the side. And I was like, "I'll take that," and then proceeded to get it signed by 3 people that weren't in that film at all. But it's like I said, it's very unique. Yak Face, Poon, and General Grievous.
Jenko T paid 60 quid to meet Mark Hamilton.
Yes. Mark Hamill is not available today. It's just it's Mark Hamill, but he starts rapping.
If you paid 60 quid to meet Mark Hamilton, I think you've been like ripped off. Like,
that is the one I went to, Jenko, the 2016. That's the one I was talking about. That's where I got my record signed.
£400.
And was it the 2016 one? No, it's the one where it was in London. I don't know. I get confused. But and yeah, again, Mark, I think Anthony Daniels was like 90 quid then, and I was like, "Oh, that's too much for me." I think I was a bit rich for me then, and then so now again, like the prices. Now I think I'll just take my risk on eBay for someone who's blatantly signed in a car park and just living the dream. I have got the film cells actually signed by David Prowse and Jeremy Bulloch.
Yeah.
My parents got for my birthday one year.
Oh, sorry, Jenko. Like Dave Skywalker. Yes, I forgot that one. Yeah.
Oh, that's the son of Chad Fader, Night Shift Manager, isn't it?
Sorry, doing a little bit of a Hamilton. Yeah. It's just, I just think autographs and photo ops. It's such a ludicrous. No, that's a rapper. Ludicrous.
Yeah, it is.
I can't even say the word, but you know what I mean. A ridiculous.
Ludicrous is actually the right word because that's what he's named after. That's his rapper name is. It's ridiculous, ludicrous.
Oh yeah, ludicrous.
The more you know.
I'm just feeling very stupid this time night, but no, I just think that it's just become such a ridiculous market that you used to go to a Comic-Con and you'd pay a couple of quid, you'd see the person from the film or get a signature, and like I run everything through, and I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but when I met JRJR, like a comic book artist, and he was signing whatever you wanted for free and as many as you wanted for free, but all he was asking was a donation to the charity that he supported. And there were some people there that were taking the absolute biscuit and taking like piles of stuff that clearly were just going to go on eBay. But then I had maybe 3 or 4 comics that, one of my favorite covers that he did, one that the 500th episode issue that I had signed at Times Square by a bunch of the different people, and he was one of the ones that wasn't at Times Square, so I took that to get him to sign it as well. Nice. He did me like a sketch on a Batman as well, and literally I donated some money to the charity, a shiny 50 pence. But no, I donated a decent amount, but I was not reluctant to pay some decent money because I knew it was going to charity. Whereas, and I'm not saying that everyone should do that because I do get it that it's a a business and an income and stuff for these people. But I always think to myself now, like how much I gave to charity for JR to do like 5 or 6 things for me. Is it worth me paying £90 to stand next to this actor that's gonna forget he ever met me? It's like, no, probably not. Whereas with JR, I chatted to him. He talked about, like, when I pulled out the 500, we talked about it and the other signatures I had on it. And I'm not saying he would remember it, but it was like I remember it, and it was an experience rather than just a.
I was remembered by Dennis Lawson, aka Wedge Antilles.
Oh, really?
I went to Echo Live last year, and he was there. And because he must get 1,000 questions about Star Wars that he doesn't know the answer to or care about. But he's quite a prolific theatre actor. So I talked to him, obviously, because you and I used to do the stuff at the theatre. And I'd seen him in My Fair Lady. And so I started talking to him about theatre. And then went to this year. I didn't pay to get an autograph. It's just no one was next to him. And I just went to speak to him and just said, oh, big fan of your work and that, just talking, having a good day and all that. Went Echo Live this year and went again, similar thing. He was on his own for a moment, so I said hello, and he went, theatre chap. He goes, you doing anything, or have you tread the boards again? Cool. I was like, no, still not. It was nice to be, I mean, the fact that I wear a luminous blue Blockbuster Video hat probably helps, but
and you had a picture of him on your T-shirt,
yeah.
But no,
it's quite cool.
One of my favorite pictures was with Jason Dev Frank that I got back in.
Yeah, so jealous of that.
2018, I think it was. My
your wife got it for you as a birthday gift, didn't she?
Yeah, I think it was from the kids, but obviously she paid for it because they don't have a job. But it was, but yeah, and it was one of them ones where I felt really awkward because I was like, I kind of really kind of admired this guy when I was younger, and it was Tommy. Do you know what I mean? And it was a weird queue up because there were some people like older than me dressed in full Power Ranger outfits. Then there was kids. Then there was just me in a T-shirt and jeans, and I think I had an X-Men T-shirt on actually. And I just felt really kind of awkward because I thought this poor guy is like literally getting a conveyor belt of like randomness. Like he didn't know who was walking in next. Like, is it an overweight Green Ranger? Is it like a 4-foot like child? Like, but it's one of them ones that I'm really pleased that I did now, obviously, after he passed away.
Yeah.
Not because it's anything, it's not any more of a special experience, but I'm just kind of glad that I didn't miss that opportunity. That was the opportunity and I took it. So yeah.
So if you see us at Comic-Con, come and say hi. Don't miss your opportunity.
Yeah, come on. We only charge £70.
Yeah.
But
we're free. We'll give you money to talk to us.
I must admit, I do like it at Comic-Con, like bumping into people and seeing people from like, different channels and different Instagram accounts and stuff like that. And we all kind of like, hey, it's like, I bumped into Dave actually, Dave Displays and he was literally like, I was on my way out and I think he was like stood adding something up or whatever, and we kind of like, there was that moment where we like looked at each other and we're like, hey, are you right, buddy? And then we took a photo together and everything like that, and then it was all good. But no, it's going to be a good one. There's lots of exciting things at MCM this year. I'm really excited. There's a couple of things.
Nudge.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be some exciting stuff going on. Going to be some exciting stuff going on. So I don't know if Hasbro are there though. They usually are there in the October one, but I haven't heard anything about them being there.
I reckon they'll just have a small stall. I don't think it'll be huge because they've got a couple of London stores now, haven't they? They've got the Transformer one at Battersea, and they've opened up a Pulse store in Oxford Square, I think it is, right by my wife's office. So
result
on errands. Yeah.
But I don't know whether they're there or not. But yeah, there you go. Sorrel said they are because they emailed him. To be fair, I've had such a busy week. I haven't actually checked my emails, so I'm going to check that email.
Check my mailbox in weeks. I feel so bad.
I haven't checked, but yeah, I mean they usually are. Yeah, there you go. They're saving the Star Wars reveals for New York Comic Con MCM, according to what I've read. Yeah, that's usually the way it goes. I mean, one year they did a whole bunch of panels for for all the different Hasbro brands. One thing before we do kind of round up at some point, one thing I did get was this.
Oh, you got the Ectoglow set.
Yep.
Where did you get it?
Look, they're actually there, look, up on the shelf.
Where did you get it from?
From Pulse.
Oh, I missed out on that.
Is it all sold out?
Well, I assume so. If it's not, I'm going to go and get some. Is the vehicle as well?
No,
resealable bubbles.
The vehicle has sold out. The Ecto 1 has definitely sold out, but they are doing more in this line. Obviously, they've got the Green Ghost, aka Slimer. They've got Stay Puff. But interestingly, like I put in my video, these are a 90s re-release, aren't they? They came out in like 91.
Right at the end of the line, if I remember correctly.
They were one of the last figures, and they didn't come out over
very
here
rare.
in the UK. That's why I was like, I have to get these because I didn't have these as a kid. But there was 5 figures in the line. Obviously the 4 Ghostbusters. Do you remember who the 5th one was?
Rick Moranis' character, isn't it?
Yeah, Tully. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
thank you.
So I'm really hoping that we get a Lewis Tully Ectoglow. That'll just kind of finish.
I reckon we'll get him and maybe Janine as well, because she had a Ghostbusters outfit. That'd be quite a fun.
Yeah, definitely.
We got one.
Is there anything else you want to talk about while we're on?
I'll just very quickly show something else that I got this week, if that's okay.
Go on.
So obviously, big fan of the Next 17 vintage Star Wars maker. Something a bit different this time, though. This is a Yoda based on the original Empire Strikes Back comic appearance.
I like that.
Let's see if I can get it to.
That is awesome.
So before, basically, before Marvel comics knew what he actually looked like, this is what they drew him as in the original comic reprint,
in those colours.
Yep.
You know what? They're not far off. Apart from the ear placement and the hair, they're not that far off.
Well, it's blue and white hair and that, but yeah, it's pretty awesome. So he made the vintage style Yoda, but like that, and then also one of my favourite new things is Darth Vader in the Bacta tank.
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
I'm going to put a red LED in the bottom, so it's all like.
Yeah, that's really. I like that a lot.
But
I like that one a lot.
Go check out the next17.com. Again, not sponsored, but I just really like him for my displays, and I thought I would show off. Oh, we also got this guy, Wilro Hood. He is famous in the Star Wars universe because he is running in Cloud City. He's escaping, but the prop they gave him to hold was an ice cream maker. Yeah, I know. Someone look at you. See all these people evacuating, and he's running with the ice cream maker. But the funny thing is, they turned it into canon. So in the Mandalorian, the season 1, I think it is, the big weird plastic container that he turns the top of and it opens up on all sides.
Yeah,
is modeled on that ice cream maker.
No.
Yep. So they made this whole backstory about that one item being like, Wilro Hood is actually like a hero of the rebellion. Like he was smuggling out rebel secrets, like Imperial secrets or whatever, like to the Empire. So they just turned it, and I don't think they've ever managed to find out who the actual extra was that played him, sadly. But there's a proper Hasbro saga figure at one point that was quite rare. But yeah, Graham has now made him in the Next 17's made him in the vintage form, and he does. I don't have one to hand, sadly, but he does have the ice cream maker. I bought 6 of them to use in different dioramas and that, but pretty awesome, right?
That is really cool. That is really cool. It reminds me of the margarita guy in Jurassic World.
Yes.
And having been on film sets as well, I can see how those things do get missed, because obviously it's very easy to watch a film and kind of go, oh, he's holding margaritas or he's holding ice cream. But when it's obviously being filmed, you're doing take after take, and we'll swap these things out and you guys go that way instead, and you guys grab a prop off this table and all that kind of stuff. It's amazing, those little things that get left in, and I think it's really cool that they made it into canon though. That's
I think
nice,
because I don't know how they would have made the Starbucks cup in Game of Thrones canon, but
no, that's a bit of a
space portal. Magic dragon
Predator
dimensions.
Predator. That's all it is. The Predator collected it somewhere and dropped it off, and if all else fails,
Predator
it was
Game of Thrones.
Can you imagine? That's a crossover. I'm surprised there's not a crossover with Game of Thrones yet, like Batman versus Game of Thrones. Or like
well, it's like comic-wise, you would have thought so, because there's like obviously Batman, Ninja Turtles. There's like the Avengers versus Alien versus Predator. There's Alien versus Predator versus Terminator versus RoboCop. There's like, you know, there's everything imaginable like crossover. I've got quite a collection of crossovers. So I love crossover comics. The He-Man Thundercats one is pretty brutal. But you know, so I would, but I think that would work really well.
Yeah,
Predator appears on the Iron Throne.
That would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. Cool. Well, listen, MCM is obviously at the end of October. We're middle of September now, so let's say that we'll try to do another one of these before MCM, and then we can kind of rally up some questions and whatnot. And I will try to go on the Saturday. I don't know at the moment. It depends what the schedule's like. But on that note, the last thing I'm going to show off is my most recent 3D print that I'm just in the process of painting because we were talking about it. But this is a very awesome 1/6 scale He-Man that is just stunning. And yeah, and the nice thing is as well is he's got his axe, and you can swap out the axe for the sword. Like you can choose which one he has.
I wanted to have like the voiceover like over the top as you were doing that with the music, you know. Jacob has printed me from the magic of Eternia.
And then just as a little Easter egg, because like the Hasbro guys do this on their streams, I'm also printing this one.
Merman.
Yes. So yeah, let's say we'll do another one before MCM, because obviously me and you will be going together on the Friday. But yeah, this is Geek Meet. It's just a spontaneous let's get on and chat and talk stuff. I think this one only really came up because we hadn't spoken in a little while.
And I was going on holiday on Monday evening, so I was like, oh, you know.
Yeah. So have a wicked time. Obviously, I will speak to you. I'm saying it on air as if I'm not going to speak to you. But... Ryan, have an amazing time on holiday. Be safe. Make sure to see if you can find some dodgy counterfeits.
Oh, I will. Don't worry. I'll try and bring some back for the Geek Meet. And John Hood, do not forget to send our audition tapes off for the Alien audiobooks. We want to play just 2 throwaway lines as distracted guards who get killed. That's all we're asking. Don't even need to get paid.
Or just play the main protagonist.
I can do that.
No, but that would be cool. That would be very cool. But yeah. All right, guys. Listen, this is Geek Meet. You know the score. Obviously, check out the description of the video. Give us a follow over on the channels if you don't already. We really do appreciate everyone coming along and joining in. It's always good to catch up with you all. And we will do another one before the end of October, so that we do one before MCM.
And if you're bored this week, go out to the street and meet a geek.
See you soon.
No plans, no script, no calendar ping. Just 2 geeky minds talking everything. Figs, show spoilers and scenes. From Jedi to Joes to mutant teens. They're live when they lie, that's part of the charm. So grab your snacks and sound the alarm. If you're into toys or comic book feast, then drop on by for a little Geek Meet. Geek Meet, it's wild, it's weird. Talking plastic heroes and collections we've cleared. Geek Meet, so random, so fun. Join the stream, the show's just begun. Ryan and Jacob, you're in for a treat. Geek Meet, it's wild, it's weird. Talking plastic heroes and collections we've cleared. Geek Meet, so random, so fun. Join the stream, the show's just begun. Ryan and Jacob, you're in for a treat.